Let me first ask Kalikesh. Kalikesh, we've seen this sort of wave of kidnappings now take place in the last several weeks. It began in Orissa, it's gone on to Chhattisgarh, and there are many angry voices that are saying that this is largely to do with the way states such as Orissa have handled this situation, that you shouldn't have been negotiating with the hostage takers in the first place, and now you have this ugly cycle of hostage taking demands, negotiations, and so on.
Well, if I was to blame somebody, Nidhi, for the situation, I would first blame the Maoists and then talk about other measures. Having said that, I think we should also accept the fact that it is in the interest of the Maoists to ensure that development doesn't take place in these areas. That's the basic thesis on which they thrive on. And it's a fact that anybody who's vulnerable, be it public representatives or IS officers, who work in these areas now need to be very, very careful. But once a hostage is taken, I'm sure the state governments of Chhattisgarh and Odisha both would have examined all possible measures. But once a hostage is taken, the first and paramount interest of the state government is the life of the hostage, which would ensure that both development doesn't stop there, the morale of the officers and the local representatives doesn't get hampered, and also on a humanitarian basis.
But I'm going to interrupt you there and ask you that is there a problem with not just state governments but even the centre about a confusion in how to approach this whole Naxal issue? Because everyone talks about this whole two-pronged strategy, a humanitarian approach, development on one hand, a law and order on the other. Is there a problem that these two things are now getting mixed up and frankly governments are just confused? I think one point of view is that when you're taking hostages and you're making these kind of demands, it is a law and order issue and has to be dealt with as such. And the moment you bring any other angle into it, then it gets complicated.
Well, I don't think you can have a unilateral view on a situation as complex as Naxalism, which has been bred out of 30 or 40 years of neglect of these tribal and forested areas. And let's not forget, both the cases where the central government faced hostage situations, the Rubaiya Saeed case and the Kandahar case, even then hostages were exchanged. So to take a hardline view for any state government, especially when high-profile government officers or public representatives are involved, I think is a difficult thing to do.
All right. Mr. Krishna, you're an IAS officer yourself. I know you have very strong views on this. But I'm sure today you feel for your colleagues who work in these areas. They put their lives at risk and are having to go through this torment today. But you believe that it's time for states to take a harder approach, a more tough approach. What do you want the states to do? All right. I think we've lost the video link to him, but let me ask Mr. Mishra that.
Yes, I agree with you, and that we have to take a very strong approach. The incident which has happened in Orissa, last year it happened, very soft approach was taken by the government. Again they were emboldened, they got grouped. Now for last 1 month we are reading over how to negotiate with the Naxals in Orissa. First of all, when Mr. Jina Hikaka was kidnapped, the information came that okay, he has been taken to Andhra. Here in Bastar, this has happened in Sukma. Now they are telling he might have been taken to Narayanpatna or Malkangiri in Orissa. But if all these 8 states, they can coordinate their operations, all these 8 Naxal affected states, I think at least 50% solution can come. But I don't agree with Orissa that for about 1 month we have stopped the operation against Naxalites and given them full opportunity to regroup.
Is that what are you worried about that in Chhattisgarh as well today with the Bastar operations?
Chhattisgarh, it happened because of Orissa issue. Because they got emboldened, they got grouped together. They know that they can ask for anything, whatever they want.
But what would you say to Kalikesh, who makes the point that when you're in power and when you are the government in power and your officers are getting kidnapped and are being taken hostage, you can't just abandon them either. What do you do?
I agree. For about a week or so to have discussion or to dialogue with the Naxalites, it's well and good if you can manage to get him. Because you have to work. The areas have to be developed. And who will develop it? The local bureaucrat, the local SP and the local district master and his officers. But the same thing is being done in the border areas. How the border development works, it continues with the proper security. Why the proper security is not being given? The district magistrate of Sukma is going with 2 constables and they are thus the targets, they were killed. but it's very clear that they never wanted to harm the district magistrate. They have not harmed Jana Keka Hikaka till today. This Jan Adalat or the people Adalat, people court, whatever
So
they
when
will
you
be
say
making,
strong
that is a different
approach,
issue.
when you say a strong approach to deal with this, you mean what?
I want that full operation, operation to stop Operation Green Hunt will give definitely a better hand to the Naxalites.
To regroup.
Definitely, they have already regrouped in Orissa. It is better to go ahead for the operation in Orissa to start with and to show the result. And that is how if there is a pressure on them, then definitely they will be fighting.
Okay.
Do you have the NDTV Profit app? All the markets, all the news and your own homemade, ready-made portfolio available there for you.
We will right now answer what you should sell, what you should buy when markets are down.
Download at ndtvprofit.com/apps. Get the best app from the channel you trust.